I'm Julia Christensen, and I'm an artist and writer based in Oberlin, Ohio. I'm a professor of art and chair of the art department at Oberlin College. And currently, I'm an artist in residence here at the Fulcrum AxS Art and Science Incubator. I'm working on a project with scientists at the Jet Propulsion Lab to envision a pair of long-term space missions that center longevity as a primary design goal. I met a scientist named Dr. Anthony Freeman, who is the director of the Innovation Foundry at JPL, who had been working with a group at JPL called the A-Team on a concept for a spacecraft that would fly to Proxima b, which is an exoplanet in the Alpha Centauri star system, which is 4.2 light years away. So the idea for this spacecraft concept is that it would launch in the year 2069. And that gives scientists 50 years to figure out how to reach 1/10 of the speed of light. So this spacecraft would travel at 1/10 of the speed of light to arrive at Proxima b 42 years later, which would make it 2111. We determined that we needed to attempt to transcend obsolescence and build a simple CubeSat, a simple toaster-sized spacecraft with an operational time span of 200 years, which is a huge challenge. I mean, you know, down to the very metal in circuit boards migrating, you know, after a while, after the electrons have been moving through it for too long. So we have the 200-year CubeSat, that's one component of this. The other component of this is a series of terrestrial trees on our planet that we have augmented to act as antenna. It turns out that you can harness the electrical impulse inside a living tree so that it can act as an antenna. And we are going to put this CubeSat in conversation with this series of trees. We're going to collect data at the trees to tell a very basic and very long story about their lives, how they experience their delivery of water and sunshine over the course of 200 years. And the CubeSat is also going to send data about its life to the trees by pinging them when it flies over them. All of that data will be sonified, so that in effect we are creating a song between the trees and the CubeSat for 200 years.
My name is Tom Hall. I'm an artist and programmer based in Los Angeles, originally from Australia. Kind of over the years, become this person that people contact with various programming needs within the greater context of an artistic work or creativity in some sense, some way like that. Julia and I, chatted online, and then recently in the last few weeks, Julia turned up in Los Angeles for kind of a first phase of the work where we started to work on using MaxMSP combined with things like Arduino microcontrollers and sensors just to read data from trees and then resynthesize that data into sound.
Today we've been working on the sonification of data that we've been collecting from two plants, one of which has been giving us a reading of light, and one of which has been giving us a reading of moisture or water in the soil at the roots. For me, the reason I was initially kind of drawn to using sort of data sonification instead of data visualization in terms of kind of structuring this 200-year art project, or art and science project, rather, I'm interested in using a media form that we know will have fidelity over the course of 200 years. And a sine wave will always be a sine wave. Yeah.
And those discrepancies in data, so when the data shifts and changes, you won't have had to have analyzed millions of digits on a piece of paper or look at graphs for hours. You'll immediately be able to hear a very minute change.
Yeah, it's been important to me since the beginning to develop this project that has as much scientific integrity as it does artistic and cultural integrity. And so I know that for scientists, sometimes patterns can be detected when data is sonified that wouldn't necessarily be detected if they were just looking at numbers. And even today when we were listening, we would notice such a minute shift in the frequency when the light changed just a little bit. And, we couldn't see the light change, but we could hear the plant reacting to the light change.
Well, and we were monitoring the data type at the same time, and you couldn't really even see that change, but you could hear the audio.
Meanwhile, we'll inscribe the song every year in concentric circles on a golden disc so that it represents tree rings or the new golden record. Except for this time, the story is told not through the voices of humans, but through the trees that support us and the technology that we build. Eventually, when the Proxima B spacecraft takes off, we hope to inscribe this golden record, this Tree of Life song, onto the side of the spacecraft.